Yes, be ready for the dictation. Start. The plea that the burden of taxation is excessive is an irrelevant factor to the levy of import duty on newsprint. That the fact that the foreign exchange position was comfortable was no bar to the imposition of import duty, and since the duty imposed is an indirect tax which would be borne by the purchaser of newspaper, the petitioner could not feel aggrieved by it. Stop. Allowing the writ petitions held, the expression freedom of press has not been used in Article 19 of the Constitution, but as declared by this court, it is included in Article 19 (1) (a), which guarantees freedom of speech and expression. Stop. Freedom of press means freedom from interference from authority which would have the effect of interference with the content and circulation of newspapers. Stop. There could not be any kind of restriction on the freedom of speech and expression other than those mentioned in Article 19 (2), and it is clear that there could not be any interference with that freedom in the name of public interest, even when clause (2) of Article 19 was subsequently substituted under the Constitution First Amendment Act 1951 by a new clause which permitted the imposition of reasonable restrictions on the freedom of speech and expression in the interests of sovereignty and integrity of India, these unity of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency and morality in relation to contempt of court, defamation or incitement to an offence. Stop. Parliament did not choose to include a clause enabling the imposition of reasonable restrictions in the public interest. Stop. Freedom of press is the heart of social and political intercourse. Stop. The press has now assumed the role of the public educator, making formal and non-formal education possible in a large scale, particularly in the developing world where television and other kinds of modern communication are not still available for all sections of society. Stop. The purpose of the press is to advance the public interest by publishing facts and opinions without which a democratic electorate cannot make reasonable, responsible judgments. Stop. Newspapers, being purveyors of news and views having a bearing on public administration, very often carry material which would not be palatable to governments and other authorities. Stop. With a view to checking malpractices which interfere with free flow of information, democratic constitutions all over the world have made provisions guaranteeing the freedom of speech and expression, laying down the limits of interference with it. Stop. It is the primary duty of all the national courts to uphold the said freedom and invalidate all laws or administrative actions which interfere with it, contrary to the constitutional mandate. Full stop. Over.